Welcome back to the channel, guys. And topic of the moment, the California fire has been one of the most significant fires in California history, costing upwards of $55 billion of damages. And to this moment, we're having to ask ourselves, are the water hydrants filled with water? Is there water in the hydrants? Not that we expect it to be empty, but they have been in the past few weeks because of lack of water, because we've dispersed the water into the ocean for whatever political reason that there is. And that makes me concerned. That makes me concerned because we have taxpayers paying for services and for things that they think that should be there when it's time to use them and it's not. We're paying taxes, these high California taxes, for services and benefits that are absent by the time that we need them most. And it just seems to be like that for a lot of the things that we need, or a lot of the things that come to be important, especially in the times of need or concern or dire situation or life events that pop up. And it's just no answers, no solutions at those extreme points in time. And it's scary. It's really scary because it kind of breeds this contempt and this resentment toward politicians. It breeds this anger and just detachment from what a civilized structure could look like because of lack of responsibility being taken by the people that is orchestrating, or people that are the leaders in these civilizations, or in these communities, or in these cities, mayors, governors, state leaders, and government leaders. So what are we to do? What are we to consider? No wonder there are people like the Luigis of the world that become martyrs. Martyrs? Martyrs? And it's quite disgusting, to be honest, that we're talking about people harming other people and being revered because they did something that most people wouldn't do, and that's show up in a way of, I don't even know how to say it without being demonetized, but in a way that strikes a conversation of real serious atonement. And if not atonement, warning. And it's, how do we prevent those things? How do we prevent disrupting the civil peace? And is there a way that we can conduct our business without making somebody feel unwelcome or unwanted? Like, we don't have to have a political arena, a political atmosphere of, if you're not this, then you're that. And if you're not this, then you're the enemy. We don't have to have that. There could be public discourse in a form of agree to disagree, or agree or disagree, without having to be the violator, sort of say. Definitely almost messed myself up with that. But again, it's important to really ask ourselves, what is important to us as civilians when we're asking, when corporations are asking us to pay significant portions of our income in order to secure or warranty or protect or insure our assets, and they're not there when we need them, or they want to penny pinch us when we need them. They ask us for $500 to thousands of dollars a month in services, and by the time that we need them, they're asking us, or they're telling us, matter of fact, that's not going to be covered because of X, Y, and Z, because it doesn't fall within our pay structure, because it disqualifies you because of this. You did this, thus this happens. You did not have this, thus this happens. But they didn't do that when they were collecting. They didn't do that when they were taking their money from their customers. It's very distasteful. It's very disturbing. And it's important that corporations get in tune with what's real. And of course, it's a lot of things that are happening in the environment that make it very hard and risky as a business to perform said business in whatever environment that they're serving. But then why take their money? If it's difficult, if it's a risk, why take their money? If you're serving in a risky environment, you should be held responsible for whatever cost that you signed up for, corporation, and not try to mitigate or try to devalue the expenses that you have to shovel out to these people that have gone through these travesties. Because it's not fair. And it breeds for contempt. And it breeds for people wanting to be the martyr, the next person to be revered. And in an environment like that we have today, I think that it's important that we try not to have these people in these societies feeling like they want to be the next martyr, because that is very dangerous territories that we then leave ourselves vulnerable to. And then who's to say that what other justice or what other civil disobedience or whatever reason they want to act out and be that martyr is justifiable. Like, it's just not good for the social discord for the community that we're trying to maintain and continue to progress in. Doesn't make for that it doesn't make for a good cocktail. It doesn't. So if people are paying for their fire insurance and then you cut them off, insurance corporation that tends to cut off California in times of need, it doesn't make Californians feel good at all. Matter of fact, you're making Californians' lives a little bit harder, because they know that insurance companies are pulling away from California because of insurance for fire hazard has been nearly eviscerated. And so there's lack of opportunities to even get coverage for fire insurance. So when people's houses get burned to smithereens, they have nothing, or in their minds, they feel that they have nothing to lose. Of course they do, but in their minds, in that moment, they feel like risking it. It's worth it to them. They lost their $2 million, $3 million, $500,000 asset. It doesn't matter. They lost what they deemed was home on something they had insured, and something that insurance company fled during the times of COVID, that they just abandoned these homeowners. How do I know? I'm a real estate agent. I was out shopping for insurances with my clients because they were having a hard time finding fire coverage. Why is it important? Because they don't want to be the next person that loses their home in a fire disaster and not be covered. Why is that? We live in the fire state. The fire state. We are an earthquake and a fire state. We may not have tornadoes. We may not have tsunamis. Although there has been a tsunami warning in the last year. Although there may be a tornado here and there. Very small scale. We are not that state. We are the fire and earthquake state, with a couple natural California predators here and there, the mountain lion, the bear, a couple of them here and there, because we've devastated that too. But we are earthquake and fire. And you guys are making it extremely hard for homeowners, because not only are insurances leaving California for with the fire insurance, they're just no longer providing it. But for those insurance companies that are providing it, those rates then go double. And why is that? It's because of supply and demand. It's more risk versus the reward. You guys are not making it fair. You guys got to wake up. Make this more equitable, not just for your pocketbook, but for everybody. Because in times like this, you guys create very toxic environments and people start to lose their sense of what's real and what's not. I wonder why people appreciate Luigi. And I'm not saying that he did the wrong thing. I'm just saying that he shouldn't be a martyr. Because since when are we a nation that celebrated people for doing that? It's just a bizarre situation, and we're putting up bizarre situations for our civilians or our citizens, so that way it makes us desensitized. It makes us think that this should be normal, like, oh, we should retaliate or we should go and fight back. It's just a bizarre situation, and if we think that this is normal, oh well, there's no telling where the future is going to be. That's my thoughts. Roger DeAndre, I'm up out of here.